Dolphins fans, how are we feeling today? It is Ben Morgan of the Fins Up Network here to talk a little bit about mandatory minicamp, which opened on Tuesday for our Miami Dolphins. It actually runs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but Tuesday was the first of these mandatory minicamp sessions, and we had 100% of players in attendance. Now, that doesn't mean that we had everybody participating at a full level. We'll talk a little bit about that moving forward here. But hey, we got some new rookies under contract. We're going to talk a little bit about Tua and Tyreek and their contract situations. I've got a couple of nuggets on Tua that I haven't seen anywhere else, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. We're going to jump into all of today's report in just a second here, but before we do, got to hear from you. Your thoughts from day one of minicamp, your thoughts on the Tyreek Hill contract situation, the Tua contract situation, anything you've got, get them thrown into the comments. Let's carry on the conversation there. And if you haven't gotten subscribed yet, please do so. Would absolutely appreciate it. Thank you to everyone that has already done so. But we talked about 100% of the players being in attendance, but yes, doesn't necessarily mean that everyone is doing everything. Now, Tyreek Hill was present, not doing team drills. Now, he did get to talk to the local media as well. And you can tell just from those conversations, from hearing his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, yesterday, talking with Josh Moser as well, they want to get a deal done. You just saw Justin Jefferson become what? The highest paid non-quarterback player in the history of the NFL. Now, when you've got a guy that's maybe Justin Jefferson is number one, maybe he's the best wide receiver in the league. It helps that he's a little bit younger. Tyreek is right there. And Drew Rosenhaus, one of the best agents in all of sports, you're going to want to kind of join that company. So, yeah, they've been in the Miami Dolphins' ear. And it's not just unique to the Justin Jefferson situation as well. This goes all the way back to free agency when the Miami Dolphins were a little bit up against it in regards to the salary cap. And Drew Rosenhaus and Tyreek Hill were, I don't want to say banking on, but they thought he would be one of the contracts that they would end up restructuring. Well, we were able to restructure a couple of other contracts. We made some other sort of moves. Didn't end up having to. So Tyreek and Drew Rosenhaus were like kind of thinking that they were going to get a deal done. Lo and behold, they ended up not getting that deal done. So now they're at a point where, well, you know what? Justin Jefferson did get his money. My guy got to get his money as well. So it's agents doing their job, and it's Tyreek Hill saying and doing the right things. Like, yeah, he's showing up. He's not going to get fined. He's just not going to do the team drills. Now, Tyreek Hill has said it. I've been told in the past. Tyreek Hill has been very honest that he wants to remain with the Miami Dolphins. He wants to end his career with the Miami Dolphins. He wants to play multiple more seasons with the Miami Dolphins. And he did make a point to say, you know what? Being greedy isn't going to help this team. So does that mean he's going to take a team-friendly deal? I mean, let's be serious. This guy is going to want to get paid. He has Drew Rosenhaus as an agent. You don't have Drew Rosenhaus as an agent if you're in the business of making ultimately team-friendly deals. Regardless, sounds like he wants to be in Miami. He said he wants to be in Miami. Now we kind of got to wait and see what happens, because quite honestly, it's not that the Dolphins don't want him around and they don't want to extend him and pay him the money. It's a lot of the stuff that comes off field with him. And if you throw all this money at him and you guarantee all this money, it comes with a lot of risk. And the Miami Dolphins want to be safe. They want to protect themselves in the process. I'm not going to go into any more details on Tyreek right then and there, but yeah, like I said, we'll kind of see how this one plays out. But we got some Tua news as well, because yes, once again, he was present and he's kind of got what I'm going to consider scattered involvement. He's not going to be participating, at least as of Tuesday, in the team drills. We're going to call this a hold-in. Remember, I think it was Christian Wilkins that did the hold-in, because like I said, you're not holding out. You're not causing that kind of distraction. You're not going to end up getting fined. You're just going to be selective as to what you end up doing when you're at these mini camp practices. Now, Tua also met with the media today and basically said, you know what, the market is what the market is. Basically, he wants to get a deal done. He's talked about progress in this deal. More than anything, he used the word antsy. He just wants to have that sense of security. He wants to get this deal done. But don't look for it to be less than market value. Look for it to be in the neighborhood of the Jared Goffs, the Justin Herberts of the world. These guys, you're basically judged. And a lot of these guys, they're making a lot of money, but at the end of the day, you're like, Goff made that much, Herbert made that much. I got to get just a little bit more. I at least got to be in the ballpark. So if I'm making a crack at it today, look for those deals. This deal, it's going to get done eventually. Look for it to be in that ballpark. But we talk about what he was able to do today. I'm going to get to some of these nuggets here that I've got on Tua in just a second. We don't have quite as much play-by-play today, so I want to spend a little bit more time talking about this. So definitely stay tuned. I've got some cool information for you guys. But what he did do on the field today, he worked on the 7-on-7s. He threw 12 passes. He completed 11 of them. The one incompletion was a drop by Matthew Sexton. Keep in mind, he did this with Tyreek Hill not playing, with Odell Beckham, who also wasn't included in these drills today either. Adding to that, Adam Beasley noted that when Tua Tagovailoa wasn't the quarterback, Skylar Thompson, Mike White didn't make the offense look nearly as efficient. So if you're thinking about this hold in for Tua, chalk today up as a good day for Tua and his camp in regards to these contract negotiations. But this is where I wanted to talk about kind of the nuggets that I got here on this. Now, I'm going to tie this into, I believe it was Monday. Mike Florio and Chris Simms had their show. And I won't go into all the details about what they said. Quite honestly, you could just probably bypass their show moving forward. And I'm going to explain why. But they made an entire segment about the appearance of Tua Tagovailoa, his physical appearance. Last year, he was too thick. This year, he's too skinny. They made an entire episode or a segment of their show about this. So now, instead of just talking to talk, like the likes of Florio and Simms, because they know what gets clicks, it's Tua. Tua obviously generates clicks for these guys. I'm going to give you some actual facts that I have been given that, like I said, I don't think next to nobody probably has regarding this situation. I'm very lucky. I'm very fortunate to be given this information. But between last year and where we are today, Tua Tagovailoa has increased his throwing velocity by 13%. Now, it's crazy. The team has unbelievable data tracking and analytics that, quite honestly, it is just fascinating to me. But chalk a lot of this up to the side work that he's doing with his new quarterback coaches, with being able to get his hips more engaged, with releasing, with changing up that release point a little bit. So yeah, maybe he is a little bit smaller. It's not all about losing weight and with the arms. It's so much to do with the hips and the drive that he's got going on. And increasing that velocity by 13%, who cares at that point what the hell this guy is weighing in? And I know that their idea was like, well, he's going to get thrown around. He's going to get ragdolled. Like I said, he's learned a little bit how to fall a little bit more appropriately. And by shedding that weight, this next number that I'm going to give you, he's able to maneuver in the pocket. He's able to scramble. He's able to extend these plays a little bit further. And he knows what he's doing. The mental side has come along with that. Was the only starter on offense last year to start every single regular season game for the Miami Dolphins. He's obviously doing a little bit something right. But this other number that we have here, his overall flexibility, like I said, they keep some crazy analytics in these departments too, has increased by 25%. And like I said, a lot of that is due to shaking some of that extra weight. And like we had talked about last year, or I should say earlier this offseason, at certain points in time, Tua felt like he was kind of running through sand when he was maneuvering the pocket, when he was escaping the pocket to try to scramble and extend those plays. With that added flexibility, with that added athleticism, he's just going to be able to grow and extend those plays and help further this offense. Now, on top of those areas of improvement that I just pointed out, these things, these two items, and probably some other stuff as well, has led to Tua being more confident in himself and being more vocal as a leader. Now, the Miami Dolphins front office and the coaching staff, they quite honestly, they think he's in line for taking another step forward in 2024 and taking this offense to new heights in 2024. So I think Mike Florio ended his segment by saying Stephen Ross is going to see these photos and these videos of Tua, and he's going to say, I don't know if I want to pay him top tier monies. Like I said, these guys have no insight into the situation whatsoever, and they're just getting the clicks. Stick to the facts, and you're going to end up learning so much more regarding these situations. Like I said, I kind of rambled about that, but we don't have quite as much play-by-play in today's mini camp report. So I think it's important to at least throw that out there. Some cool numbers, some cool stuff from the team. Like I said, I don't think a lot of people have. So, hey, you get subscribed, you follow the Fins Up Network. Every once in a while, you get some pretty cool nuggets like that. So like I said, pretty lucky, fortunate to get that information. Let's get back to some of the more news from today. because we saw that 5 of the Miami Dolphins' 7 rookies from the 2024 NFL draft were officially signed to their contracts. Running back Jalen Wright, edge rusher Mohamed Kamara, wide receiver Malik Washington, safety Patrick McMorris, and another wide receiver, Taj Washington, which only leaves 2 left to be signed, which are our first and second rounders, Chop Robinson, Patrick Paul. Would expect those deals to get done relatively soon. I don't think we have anything to worry there. Like I typically do during the OTAs, the mini camp, the training camp reports, I'm going to go position by position. But like I said, didn't have quite as much in regards to the actual play-by-play yet. I'm recording this a little bit early, so if the social media team ends up putting out any of the cool videos, unfortunately, I won't have those today. But still, we'll give you what we were able to accumulate today. Devon Achane, noted for a 20-yard completion from Tua Tagovailoa in between 2 defenders. Travis Wingfield of his Drive Time podcast noted that the pop the ball made when it was caught. And what did we just talk about? We talked about added velocity from those throws from Tua. So, hey, right there, case in point. Also from the running back position, Jeff Wilson spotted in the orange jersey. Now, if you go back to a video or 2 ago that we did, I kind of had a little bit of a theory. Is the orange jersey going to a top performer? Is it going to guys that maybe could use a little bit extra motivation? I'll let you be the judge. Regardless, Jeff Wilson was sporting the orange jersey in practice on Tuesday. Jalen Waddle, another wide receiver that just got his contract extension, noted by Cameron Wolf for catching a lot of passes from the day. From Tua Tagovailoa, had 1 goal for a touchdown. Looked fast, looked fluid. Obviously, dealt with a lot of lingering injuries last year. Cool thing is his teammates are now calling him 28. That means the 28 million in average value that he's averaging now after his new deal. So yeah, if you hear anyone referring to 28, it's our boy 17. Travis Wingfield also noted River Craycraft with a one-handed catch in the back of the end zone. For tight ends, Wingfield noted that Jonnu Smith and Jody Fortson being heavily involved in the offense. Didn't elaborate much from there. One other kind of just funny little jab that happened today. Jalen Phillips was inside doing some of his individual stuff. Came outside just to make it a point to yell over to Omar Kelly, one of the Dolphins beat writers, who put out an article about Jalen Phillips moving around with a noticeable limp, and who knows how long that's going to keep him out. Well, Jalen Phillips got his attention and say, hey, basically said, why don't you go ahead and update your article? Showed him moving around and everything without the limp. So kind of funny little back and forth there between player and beat writer. Regardless, good news that Jalen Phillips seems to be moving around pretty damn good. One other random nugget that I've got today to end the video. Was told that the team is going to focus more so on special teams this mini camp compared to your typical mini camp. And one of the biggest reasons for that is those new kickoff rules. Not only the fact that you need to kick return and who's going to be your guy, who you're going to have back there, how you're going to line all that stuff up, but defending that as well. So, hey, maybe that's why we don't have quite as much of the play-by-play stuff. But regardless, that's something that this team's going to need to work on. Special teams has been an area that we've been lacking from a productivity point. So, hey, get that work in while you're in your shorts and your T-shirts. Get that in, get that out before you have to really do a lot of the installs of the offense and the defense. We're going to wrap it right there for today, Miami Dolphins fans. We will be back as soon as always. So get subscribed if you haven't done so already. Don't miss a second of Miami Dolphins coverage. That is what we've got for today, Dolphins fans. And until next time, Fins